You have been playing with your dog the wrong way. Not because you were doing anything cruel, not because your dog was not having fun, but because almost everything most owners think of as play is actually teaching their dog to live in a state of chronic overstimulation, and the long-term consequences of that are showing up in every behavior problem you have been trying to fix from completely different angles. Play is one of the most important training sessions of the day. Almost nobody treats it that way. That is exactly what this video is going to change. Before anything else, you need to understand the one rule that changes everything about how you play with your dog. Play is not about making your dog tired. Play is about teaching your dog to self-regulate. Almost every owner has this completely backwards. The goal of the evening fetch session, most owners believe, is to burn off enough energy that the dog will be calm afterward. And it works, in a very narrow sense, for about an hour. The dog lies down. The owner feels accomplished, problem solved. Except the next day, the dog needs more fetch. A week later, the dog needs twice as much. A month later, you have built a cardiovascular athlete who cannot reach a calm baseline without an hour of chasing something first. The restlessness, the pacing, the chewing, the exact behaviors you were trying to prevent are worse than before you started. You have built an engine that runs on a fuel you have to keep providing on a schedule that will not wait for your convenience. The real goal of play is the opposite of exhaustion. It is to teach the dog that high arousal is a tap that can be turned on and off by you, on your timing, on your command. A dog who can go from 0 to full intensity in 2 seconds and then return to calm in 4 is a dog whose nervous system has learned something most dogs never learn. That is what you are actually building when you play correctly. The fetch is a genuinely fantastic game. Used incorrectly, it is the single most common way owners train their dogs into compulsive behavior without realizing it. Here is what endless fetch does to a dog's brain at a neurological level. Every throw produces a spike of dopamine and adrenaline. Every retrieval is a reward that reinforces the entire loop. The dog learns, over hundreds of repetitions, that the tennis ball is the most important object in the universe and that the loop must continue. Over time, the intensity of focus on the ball becomes almost pathological. You can see this clearly in high-drive breeds, border collies, Malinois, Labradors, Spaniels. Owners describe it as being obsessed with the ball and say it with pride. It is not a cute quirk. It is an anxiety disorder they have trained one throw at a time. The fix is simple and non-negotiable. 3 to 5 throws maximum in any session. Between each throw, ask for a short piece of calm behavior. A sit, a down, 20 seconds of eye contact, a walk back to you at a normal pace rather than a sprint. You are interrupting the compulsive loop with structured moments of regulation. The dog learns that the ball comes with built-in off switches, that the game is not an emergency, that calm is part of play and not the enemy of it. And every session ends from your hand, on your timing, with the dog still wanting one more throw and not getting it. That is always how you end a play session, with the dog wanting more. That is how you preserve the meaning of the game permanently. You have probably been told that tug-of-war makes dogs aggressive, teaches them to challenge your authority, or leads to biting problems. None of this is true. Every peer-reviewed study on the subject shows the opposite. Dogs who play structured tug with their owners have better bite inhibition, better impulse control, and better relationships with their humans than dogs who do not play tug at all. But the game has rules, and most owners either do not know them or do not apply them consistently. You start the game, never the dog. The tug toy lives in a drawer or on a high shelf between sessions. You bring it out when you decide play begins. When the session ends, it returns to its place with no exceptions. There is a release cue taught before the game gets intense, practiced in calm moments until the word alone produces a reliable drop. The game pauses every 30 to 60 seconds for a cue, a sit or a down, a 5-second count, and then restarts. This is the regulation pattern, arousal and calm cycling within the same session. If the dog's teeth ever contact your skin, even accidentally, the game ends immediately with no second chance that session. and let the dog win sometimes. Research shows it raises confidence measurably. A dog who thinks they might win tries harder and stays more engaged. A dog who always loses eventually stops trying. These 5 rules transform tug from a dangerous game into one of the most powerful regulation tools available to any dog owner. You throw the ball. The dog runs in circles, barks, snaps at the ball in the air, pants, bounces, gets visibly frustrated when you pause. To you, this looks like pure joy. To the dog, increasingly, this is panic wearing the costume of play. Learning to distinguish between the two is one of the most important skills a dog owner can develop. A dog in good play is physically loose. Their mouth is soft and relaxed. Their tail moves in broad, easy sweeps rather than tight, stiff wags. They pause voluntarily. They check in with you between repetitions. They take spontaneous breaks to sniff or shake off tension, then return to the game on their own terms. Their eyes look directly at you between rounds. The whole interaction has a breathing rhythm to it. A dog in over-arousal is tight throughout their entire body. Their mouth is thin-lipped and hard. Their eyes are fixed, usually on the object rather than on you. Their tail is stiff and elevated. Their body moves in a rigid, bouncy way that has no looseness to it. They do not pause unless you force a pause, and when you do, they bark or whine at you to continue immediately. If you are seeing the second picture during a play session, the session is already too long and the arousal is already too high. Every additional minute is training your dog to associate play with the state of being completely hijacked by it. Stop. End the session. Try again later at lower intensity. When a dog is young, it is easy and genuinely tempting to wrestle with them, push them around playfully, and use your hands as the toy. Puppies love it. They bite softly. They roll around. It feels like bonding because it is a kind of bonding. Here is what you are actually teaching in those sessions. You are teaching the dog that your hands are interactive objects meant to be mouthed, chased, bitten, and grabbed during moments of excitement. When the dog weighs 10 pounds, this is harmless. When the dog is 60 pounds, 3 years old, over-aroused during a greeting, and mouths down hard on a visitor's hand, you have a serious problem that traces directly back to every hand wrestling session from puppyhood. The rule is absolute and applies from day one. Your hands are never toys. Toys are toys. A tug rope, a flirt pole, a stuffed animal. Your hands pet, feed, and deliver cues. Nothing else. This is the piece most owners get wrong with puppies and spend years paying for when the adult dog has the mouthing habits of a toddler and the jaw strength of an adult. Protect yourself 5 years ahead by using toys from the very first play session and never making an exception regardless of how harmless it seems in the moment. D'accord. If your dog's entire play life consists of throwing a ball in the backyard, you are understimulating them mentally even if you believe you are meeting their needs physically. Dogs have 5 distinct play modes built into their behavioral repertoire: chase, tug, search, chew, and problem solve. A genuinely fulfilling play life cycles through all 5 across the week. Chase is fetch, flirt poles, and lure games. Search is hiding food in the yard, scatter feeding, and nose work. Chew is a long-lasting, safe chew item given in a structured way. Problem solve is puzzle feeders, snuffle mats, and basic trick training sequences. Here is the part most owners never discover. Search, chew, and problem solve all lower arousal. They make the dog measurably calmer rather than more excited. If your dog is a high-energy problem in the evenings, your evenings almost certainly lack any of those 3 modes. The single most underrated play activity for adult dogs is nose work. Hiding food in a series of locations around the house or yard and letting the dog find it drains mental energy the way fetch drains physical energy, except it leaves the dog genuinely calm afterward instead of wired and looking for more. A dog whose play life includes all 5 modes through the week is a dog whose actual needs are being met, rather than a dog whose physical drive is being endlessly fed without ever reaching satisfaction. If your dog is wound up, barking at the window, pacing, or already amped from a stressful experience, that is not the moment to throw the ball. Most owners think play will burn off the excess energy. It will not. Play adds fuel to a fire that is already burning. You will end the session with a dog who is more intense than when you started, more sensitized to the environment around them, and measurably worse at regulating themselves for the remainder of the day. The correct move when your dog is already over-aroused is the direct opposite of play. Lower the lights in the room, reduce all environmental stimulation, provide a frozen food toy or a long-lasting chew, turn off background noise, and give them a task that requires slow and deliberate focus. A search around the house for hidden food works precisely here because it redirects the activated brain towards something that requires calm, methodical attention rather than explosive physical output. Save exciting play for moments when your dog is already relatively settled and you want to practice turning the arousal tap on and off. Never use exciting play as a tool to manage a dog who is already beyond their threshold. You are not solving the problem. You are making it larger. A well-designed week of play for an adult dog of medium drive looks nothing like what most owners do. Monday, 10 minutes of structured tug with 3 pauses and 1 release practice, ending while the dog still wants more. Tuesday, a 20-minute nosework session with food hidden in locations of increasing complexity, followed by several hours of genuine calm. Wednesday, regulated fetch with 3 throws, a sit between each, total session under 5 minutes, followed by a chew. Thursday, flirt pole or chase play for 5 to 7 minutes with the release cue used 3 times and the session ending calm. Friday, the entire evening meal delivered through a puzzle feeder with no ball, no tug, and no structured play of any kind, just thinking. Saturday, a varied mix of tug, search, and simple trick training kept short and genuinely engaged. Sunday, a long, slow sniff walk with no structured play at all, giving the nervous system a complete day to reset and restore itself. That is a dog who is fulfilled, regulated, tired in the right way, and not spending their life in a permanent state of waiting for the next throw. Most owners, without knowing it, are training their dogs to become less capable, more anxious, and more dependent on constant stimulation. A smaller group of owners using the same 10 to 20 minutes a day are building a dog who is calm, attentive, and genuinely balanced. The difference is not the amount of effort. It is the understanding of what play is actually for. Play is training. Every single session is teaching your dog how to arrive at high arousal, stay in it briefly, and return to calm on cue. That skill, practiced in play, is the exact same skill your dog needs in every stressful moment of their real life. A dog played with well is a dog whose nervous system has been prepared for the world. Now tell me in the comments, which of these 7 mistakes were you making without knowing it? Comment with your dog's name and the one thing you are changing in your next play session. Share this with someone whose dog never seems to settle no matter how much exercise they get. And subscribe now, because the next video will show you why everything you thought you knew about how dogs learn is probably missing the most important piece.